Pandemics, an infectious disease that has spread across a large region or worldwide, affecting a substantial number of people. But you know this definition because we are all living this reality right now. Imagine a future where the solution to the next pandemic is already in our hands, a technological advancement that can help save thousands of lives, maybe even your own. Now, what if I told you that this future arrived yesterday? And that future involves what are called mock-up vaccines. But what are mock-up vaccines and why don't we have them? The answer is seen in public policy and legislation. The Federal Drug Administrations often link the approval process, which then drives the cost of vaccines up, keeps new drugs off the market until more manufacturers are able to conduct larger clinical trials. Multiple studies have shown that the health benefits to fast vaccine development and distribution can be 3 to 6 times greater than the health losses by using federal legislation to accelerate FDA review of new drug applications. I propose that the FDA take after a similar model established by the European Union's Pandemic Preparedness Plan, involving the pre-approval of what are called mock-up vaccines. This provides authorization of licenses to therapeutics and preparation of specific types of pandemics. If today, the World Health Organization were to declare a flu pandemic, the European Union would have the capabilities to develop a vaccine in at least 6 months. This is because of mock-up vaccines. Manufacturers can submit these mock-ups in order to speed up its availability and make way for a faster start on developing vaccines in the event of a pandemic. This process can be compared to baking a recipe. It's like using chocolate chips instead of raisins in the cookie recipe, or swapping out one component for another similar one in its assembly. If this sounds familiar, it's because the current COVID-19 vaccines have been developed in a similar fashion. The coronavirus pathogen is not new, and research teams were able to take advantage of the knowledge learned from pursuing a SARS vaccine, shaving off crucial time. By having coronavirus as the infectious agent, along with significant funding contributions, the scientific community was able to expedite vaccine research and development in a similar way that the European Union would do so during an influenza pandemic. I end with 2 recommendations. First would be for the FDA to allow manufacturers to submit mock-up vaccines in preparation for future pandemics. Second would be to update the current mutual recognition agreement between the FDA and EU, which allows inspectors to rely on information from drug inspections conducted within each other's borders to include vaccines. Updating MRA language would improve access to vaccines for patients in the US and EU, which is especially important during pandemics. The US has a lot to learn from our current situation and should leverage relationships to increase accessibility to vaccines that may have already been developed and tested for everyone. Let's learn from yesterday, today, for a better tomorrow. Thank you.